Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the March 30th edition of Carolina Week.
Outgoing student body president Hogan Medlin has less than a week left to serve. I'm Jennifer Kessinger, and I'll tell you just how he's spending that time.
Will ebooks replace traditional textbooks as the choice of most Carolina students?
In sports, we'll check out the future of the men's basketball team and give you an inside look at spring football.
Weathercaster Patrick DeVore will tell us how long we'll need the rain boots and umbrellas.
All that and a super fast way to build 3D images.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Student Body President Hogan Medlin's term in office is coming to an end. Good evening, I'm Jeremy Spearman.
And I'm Andrea Lutka. Thanks for joining us. Getting ready to graduate is bittersweet for most seniors, and it can be even tougher for student leaders. Jennifer Kessinger joins us live in our studio. Jennifer, how is Hogan spending his last week in office?
Well, Andrea, he's been keeping fairly busy. He had his final Board of Trustees meeting last week, and now he's focusing on enjoying his last days at Carolina. That's all Hogan Medlin has left in his term as student body president. Although he'll miss being the voice of his peers at Carolina, he's thankful he had the opportunity to be a leader.
It goes beyond words to say how amazing this year has been and how grateful I am to the students of this university.
In his final meeting with the Board of Trustees, he tackled important issues like the transportation plan and his arts innovation proposal. But there is one area he would have liked to work on more during his presidency.
The platform that we had for safety. There's certainly always time for new innovations and new ideas in safety that I think any administration would say, looking back, that they'd want to do more to ensure the quality of safety for its students.
One thing he wouldn't change is the amount of time he devoted to the job. He spent countless hours at his desk and quite a few nights sleeping on the couch in his office. And the student government suite has become a home away from home for Medlin. But it's his fellow leaders he'll miss the most.
I think I found a home in student government this year, not just the office. I mean, amongst the people.
So what will he do with all the free time he'll have soon?
Schedule lunch with a friend. Do the late night chats again till 2 a.m. Just hang out with the people that I love the most, because time really is drawing to a close.
He hopes to be teaching English to children in Asia next year, something he already experienced during his time as a student. And it shouldn't be a big leap for this student leader to become a leader for the community. Hogan's duties officially end next Tuesday when new SVP Mary Cooper is sworn in.
Jennifer, what about Medlin's political aspirations after college?
Well, Andrea, it's not likely that he'll dive into a political career just yet. He is hoping to spend a year in Asia and then come back, go to graduate school, and kind of focus on a more global perspective.
That's Jennifer Kessinger starting us off live in the studio. Thanks, Jennifer.
Hogan Medlin and the rest of the senior class might be on the way out, but more high school students than ever before are getting into UNC early. Some universities like UNC are pre-admitting students by mailing acceptance letters as early as the summer before senior year, bringing in more early applications than ever before, according to a September 2010 study by the National Association of College Admissions Counseling. But good news for the university might be bad news for high schoolers. Some administrators are concerned that early acceptance increases stress on prospective students struggling to choose between schools.
A prominent UNC alumnus says he wants students to take full advantage of the resources right at their fingertips. Ry Barcott delivered the latest installment of the Hillard Gold Lecture Series Tuesday night. More than 300 people packed UNC's FedEx Global Education Center to hear the Carolina grad reflect about his organization, Carolina for Kibera, now in its 10th year. The organization exists to help end poverty in East Africa's largest slum. Barcott encouraged students to take risks in order to make a change in the world.
It might be a sign that we're just not ready for more signs after the Chapel Hill Town Council delayed the vote to loosen commercial sign restrictions Monday night. The new ordinance would change the rules for commercial ground signs, allowing bigger signs with color and even corporate logos. Business owners, especially those in shopping centers, want more visibility from the road, but some council members think large, colorful signs would look tacky. The council will consider the change again in 2 weeks.
If you prefer the warm glow of incandescent light bulbs rather than those fluorescent bulbs, it might be time to stock up. Next year, because of federal law, the less energy efficient incandescent bulbs will be gone for good. Though their fluorescent replacements might cost a bit more, manufacturers claim they can last up to 10 times longer. Energy-saving bulbs are just as bright and in the long run could be lighter on the wallet. GE made its last incandescent bulb in the US last fall.
You know those curvy, distorted words we all have trouble with before submitting forms on the internet? They're called CAPTCHAs, and they ensure robots don't hack secure websites. And now some companies have started using CAPTCHAs to help correct the text of books and newspapers scanned in from the original copies. It started with the New York Times, and now Google Books has jumped on board. 70 to 90% of websites with CAPTCHAs use this particular program.
College students play video games for entertainment, and violent games are often some of the most popular. But can the violence go too far? A new video game called School Shooter has once again sparked a violent debate. The object of the game is to murder as many defenseless students and teachers as possible. Part of the controversy, the player uses weapons similar to the ones used by the Columbine shooters. This mirrors other actual tragic school shootings. But parents and others can breathe easy. As of Tuesday, the game is no longer on the host website.
It might be time to invest in an iPad or a Kindle because traditional textbooks might become a thing of the past. Carolina Week's Amy Whitaker explains how the rising popularity of ebooks could empty bookshelves for good.
UNC first-year student Lucy Gutenberger got a Kindle for Christmas and says it's more convenient than hauling around a heavy book bag.
It just makes it a lot easier because I don't have to carry around a bunch of bulky books. I just have to carry this little guy right here.
Gutenberger says she hasn't had any problems reading off the screen or taking notes.
Reading it is just as easy as reading a regular textbook. It's even more convenient in my opinion because I don't have to flip the pages around or make sure that it lies flat or anything like that.
With her Kindle, Gutenberger says she can highlight, view pictures, and turn pages, just as with a regular textbook, and it's much smaller.
It's just kind of like a journal that I can carry with me.
Gutenberger says that carrying electronic books to class is easier than carrying heavy textbooks. But which is the cheaper option? Student Store's textbook manager Kelly Hanner says using ebooks can save you money.
The price of an ebook is typically 50% less of the new price of the textbook.
But first-year Austin Gentry says there might be one drawback to buying ebooks.
I don't know if I'd be able to resell the textbook.
In the fall of 2008, Student Store sold 58 ebooks, and this semester they've sold 235. Textbook sales were in the tens of thousands. Gutenberger says that could change quickly.
It's going to be harder and harder for stores in general just to last when you can buy everything online for a cheaper non-retail price.
For cash-strapped students, the bottom line is the bottom line. In Chapel Hill, I'm Amy Whitaker, Carolina Week.
Now, what type of books do you prefer? We would love to know, ebooks or traditional textbooks. Feel free to drop us a message on our Facebook page or tweet us at Carolina Week UNC. We'll give you the results on Monday. Now, there are two things that help us live healthier lives: exercise, eating right, and even a good attitude.
Coming up, how optimism can keep the damaged hearts of cardiac patients pumping.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Back. A recent study shows that heart patients with positive attitudes can actually live longer than those with negative outlooks on life. Carolina Week health reporter Lauren Russell has more.
Every morning, 79-year-old Lalit Barman does these Tibetan exercises. But 5 years ago, he couldn't.
I couldn't walk much. When I walk, say, 200 yards, I run out of breath.
That's because a childhood bout with scarlet fever damaged one of his heart valves. In 2006, Barman had open heart surgery to replace the failing valve. He was scared, but says he trusted his doctors and had faith.
God is doing it, so I'm not hesitant.
Professor John Barefoot and his Duke colleagues studied heart patients' attitudes about recovery.
Patients who had higher expectations actually did have a higher chance of surviving.
Barefoot says one possible reason positive patients do better is because they're more likely to follow their doctor's instructions, such as exercise or take their medications. But a positive outlook doesn't promise miracles.
What you don't want to do is foster unrealistic expectations, because that carries problems with it too.
Cardiac nurse Jackie Harden says heart conditions often come up suddenly, and when they do, are hard to accept.
It's quite a challenge sometimes for patients to realize that they've had this life-changing event and that things are going to be different now.
Breathing in, breathing out.
Barman still uses his faith to cope with how his life is now and encourages other heart patients to do the same. In Durham, I'm Lauren Russell, Carolina Week.
Now, past studies have shown that mental stress strains the heart, another reason happy hearts could keep pumping longer.
Speaking of mending broken hearts, another recent study is bringing a very literal meaning to the phrase love hurts. This couple appears happy now, but the study shows that if their status ever changes to single, their brains will process the emotional hurt in the same area that causes us to experience actual physical pain. Researchers say they're hoping this study will help find a way to aid those who are especially affected when the flowers just stop coming.
UNC employees can feel a little better about their health after free screenings today inside the Student Union. The university and healthcare professionals hosted a Passport to Health wellness screening in the Great Hall earlier today. UNC staff members took advantage of free oral cancer screenings, cholesterol and diabetes checks, and ultrasounds to ensure their veins and arteries are working correctly. Even some of Chapel Hill's finest came out for a quick checkup. Screenings were free for all UNC employees. And a UNC medical study suggests that an alarming number of children with asthma aren't using their inhalers properly. Researchers found that fewer than 1 in 10 children with asthma use traditional inhalers correctly. The study also showed that the majority of the time North Carolina healthcare providers don't demonstrate proper use to children. Asthma is the most common chronic condition among American children, accounting for about $6 billion of health costs per year.
The North Carolina Children's Hospital's Family Support Program is a proud group after winning some national recognition. The hospital is the March of Dimes 2010 NICU Family Support Project of the Year, given to the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, or NICU, which demonstrates excellence supporting families and staff. The program provides 24/7 parent-to-parent support to address the emotional needs of the families of premature babies and other newborns. The North Carolina Children's Hospital was up against more than 100 similar programs across the country. And weathercaster Patrick Devore joins us live in the studio now.
Yeah, Patrick, I know we need the rain, but we're ready for some sun. When is that going to come back?
Well, you're going to have to wait a few more days. I'll tell you after the break whether or not you'll need to keep your umbrellas and rain boots handy for a few more.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone, but you're not alone. At IAVA.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. IAVA.org. We've got your back.
When I was a kid growing up, I actually was bullied so bad I had to leave school in 8th grade and go to another school.
A safe space is a place where nobody judges you.
Where you're safe from bullying or from anything that you think is bad and that you don't want to go through, or your friends or your family.
Every student deserves
to have a safe space at school.
We need to put an end to bullying now.
Please visit safespacekit.com. Help us put a safe space kit in every school in America. I want to see the world.
When you pick up a book,
I used to read every night to all the younger kids,
and let your imagination break free, you won't believe how much fun it can be.
let down your house.
Experience a world of adventure, excitement, and endless possibilities. Get tangled up in a good book. Explore new worlds. Read. Visit read.gov today.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm forecaster Patrick DeVore. Well, if you've been outside today, you'll have noticed our wet day, but that's being replaced with, more importantly, by our wild temperatures. We've got temperatures all over the map, high and low, and it's just going to continue for the next few days. However, the good news is our weekend conditions will be improving, so expect good things to come. Looking at our radar, you can see that the majority of the rain has pushed off towards the east and off into the Atlantic. We do have some spotty sprinkles left here in the area, but those will be moving out as we head throughout the evening. You can see that reflected on our satellite picture. Lots of clouds stocking in the entire southeast, but again, those will be breaking up as we go through the next few days, leading to a great weekend. Our service map, you can see the majority of our weather the past few days has been caused by these areas of low pressure that have been kind of sitting over the southeast and just not moving very far. There is an area of high pressure starting to build out here in the Central Plains that will begin to push them out, but they will be sticking around for a few days, and you can see that reflected on our Friday surface map. That rain is just going to sit off the Atlantic, off the East Coast, and just spin, bringing in precipitation into North Carolina. If you are planning on going out this weekend for baseball, you can see that 2 o'clock first pitch, we have better weather than we're having right now, 57 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and by the end of the game, we'll have warmed up to just below 60 at 59. Mostly cloudy skies for the end of the game. May have a chance for a sprinkle earlier in the game, so think about taking a rain jacket just to be safe, but you should be okay. However, for those of you suffering from allergies, our pollen forecast isn't looking that great. Thursday is going to be the best day out of the next 3. We've only got a medium pollen count, but as we head throughout the weekend, that will be increasing as trees will be our main culprit, increasing our pollen, and that rain that we had today washed away the majority of it, but without any rain in the next few days, we're not going to see any relief. Sorry for you for your allergy sufferers. Drought watch, we are still under a severe drought. We're about almost 5 inches under at Raleigh, so that's not good, but the rain today did help. I just saw that we had about an inch or so of rain at RDU. Will help our drought, but not as much as we need. Tonight, low of 37, better than last night when we got down below freezing. Our showers will be ending, and it will remain cloudy. As we head throughout the day tomorrow, we'll have some morning drizzle, some showers in the afternoon tomorrow night, so make sure you keep a hold on your umbrella, high at 52. And as we go through the next 5 days, you can see that we will have some rain tomorrow, another chance for rain on Friday, and it will be ending. Our rain chances will be ending on Saturday, getting back to normal temperatures into the upper 50s and lower 60s, and a temperature high of 72 on Monday will be a nice change of pace from what we've been experiencing the last few days.
Definitely. I mean, I'm happy to hear that the drought is being helped by all this rain, but it's just been horrible weather for all of us all weekend.
Yeah, we have been experiencing below normal temperatures. We only had about a 5-degree spread of from between high and low today, which is really unusual.
Wow. So consistent, but not nice.
Yeah.
It's clearing on the pollen, so I'm happy with that. So thanks, Patrick.
You're welcome, guys.
Get ready, football fans. The Heels return to the field next weekend during the annual Blue and White game with a full schedule of activities to help keep you entertained. In the morning, get your day started with a 4-mile or easy 10-mile run starting at the stadium, right? Tar Heel Town opens at noon with a bell tower climb and kids zone. There's a tailgate in the pit with free food, music, and activities for juniors and seniors. And at 1 o'clock, check out the cheerleading clinic inside the stadium while the football players and Coach Davis sign autographs on the field. The game starts at 3 p.m. And we have sportscaster Andy Reeves joining us live in the studio.
Andy, we're getting excited about football, but a lot of us are still hurting over that painful loss Sunday, and now I guess more people are wondering, what are the guys going to do next year?
Yeah, it seems like, Jeremy and Andrea, it seems like these guys, a few of them at least, will have a chance to maybe go pro and make the jump to the NBA. Coming up after the break, we'll dissect some big decisions that some Tar Heels will have to make.
That's it.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. When you adopt a child from foster care, just being there makes all the difference.
Today, about 1 in 5 Americans is living with a disability. Over 50 million people, including many of our friends and neighbors, teachers and co-workers, heroes and leaders. 20 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act guaranteed every person the right to live, work, and participate fully in the American experience. We've come a long way since then, and we are committed to making even more progress in the years ahead. Visit disability.gov to see how you can help.
The magical thing about using energy wisely is that anyone can do it. Turn off lights. Use energy-saving light bulbs. And turn off computers and game systems when not in use. Make a change and we can really fly. Grab a grown-up and go online to energy.gov/kids.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Andy Reeves. UNC basketball fans are still reeling after the team's Elite Eight loss to Kentucky, but they might soon shift their concerns to the NBA draft. Reporter Clint Hanna tells us about 3 Tar Heels that could make the jump.
Playing in his first season without injury, junior Tyler Zeller averaged more than 15 points and 7 rebounds a game. Sophomore John Henson had 11 points, 10 rebounds, and an astounding 3 blocks per game. And freshman Harrison Barnes overcame early season struggles to average better than 15 points a game. Though all 3 have had successful seasons, the true mark of a legendary Carolina basketball player is to have their jersey hung in the rafters. The jerseys hanging in the Smith Center represent significant individual feats, such as being an All-American or ACC Player of the Year. If any of the 3 leave for the NBA now, he won't have accomplished something to hang his jersey on. Daily Tar Heel sports editor Jonathan Jones says returning to college would have different effects on the players.
Harrison Barnes, it's going to be difficult for him to go any higher as a top 3 to 5 pick. Obviously you can get that number 1 pick. Another year at the college level for someone like Tyler Zeller would be invaluable, I feel. Zeller, he continues to get better, and I think 1 more year at the college level would really boost his draft stock.
Another year might boost it, but ESPN has Zeller's draft stock fairly high as the number 17 overall NBA prospect. Barnes is rated as the 4th overall prospect, and Henson sits between them at number 14. But Tar Heel fans still hope they'll be able to see all 3 wearing the blue and white next season. In Chapel Hill, I'm Clint Hanna, Carolina Week.
Barnes, Henson, and Zeller should make an announcement sometime in the next couple of weeks. While the team waits for a decision from those players, the Tar Heels received some good news from an incoming freshman. Point guard Stillman White from Wilmington, North Carolina, verbally committed to UNC Tuesday night. If he signs, he'll join a recruiting class that includes power forward James McAdoo from Norfolk, Virginia, shooting guard P.J. Hairston from Greensboro, and verbal commit Jackson Simmons from Silva, North Carolina. Switching from future Tar Heels, a former UNC starter has found a new home. Larry Drew has officially transferred to UCLA. Drew left Carolina on February 5th after losing the starting point guard job to Kendall Marshall. Drew must sit out the next season because of transfer rules and will join 2 other former Tar Heels, the Ware twins, on the court for the Bruins in 2012. Switching gears, the spring game is less than 2 weeks away, and we'll see some new and old faces at the running back position. Rachel Nash joins us live in the studio. Rachel, several key players graduated last year. Who will be lining up at running back this season?
Andy, there's definitely a different mix this season, but one veteran is back after sitting out last season because of NCAA sanctions. Senior Ryan Houston returns for his final season for Carolina. Back in 2009, Houston filled in for Sean Drone after a shoulder injury. Houston rushed for a career-best 713 yards and 9 touchdowns. And junior Hunter Furr is also back. Furr made some big plays last season, particularly against Florida State. Furr registered 3 big runs late in the game, helping the Heels to defeat the Seminoles down in Tallahassee. Finally, redshirt freshman Giovanni Bernard will see some action this season. He had to sit out last season because of a knee injury. Bernard was highly recruited out of high school and will definitely round out the UNC running attack. So Andy, the Heels did lose some big-time players in Johnny White, Sean Drone, and Anthony Elsie.
Rachel, without so many of last season's key backs, there's a lot of uncertainty. Who's expected to get the starting nod?
Well, Ryan Houston is listed first on the depth chart, followed by Hunter Furr. Like we said, both players have the experience and have proved they can make plays. Bernard is listed third, but that's probably because he hasn't seen collegiate action yet.
A talented guy like that could certainly move up a spot or two. That's Rachel Nash live in the studio. Thanks. Well, UNC will also have its pro timing day tomorrow, and guys like Marvin Austin, Greg Little, and a lot of the other graduating seniors will be working out for pro scouts.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see where they end up next year.
Definitely. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Andy.
Thank you. Well, if you don't have the chance to travel to Rome and see the Colosseum, it's becoming easier than ever to see such sights from the comfort of your own couch.
Coming up, how a new computer program at UNC is building mind-blowing 3D models all by itself.
If you have a story idea, call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNC-CH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week and Carolina Connection online at carolinaweek.org.
Yeah, it's right. I think my purse is upstairs on the bed. It's not here. Check the dining room. No. What about your sister's room? It's not there either. The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet?
There are no more closets. Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Did you buy the flashlight and the batteries?
Yes.
Did you make sure we're not missing anything in the first aid kit?
Yup.
Did you go through the plan with the kids again?
Yes.
The more you prepare today, the more you'll be able to reduce the devastating effects of a tornado, an earthquake, a power outage, or any other disaster.
A team of developers at UNC has created a computer program that can build 3D models from search results in just one day.
That's right, Jeremy, and I had a chance to actually visit the computer science department to see how it all works.
It's a big step for what we've done, and I'm still amazed about it. I had the idea and the impression it should be possible in 24 hours. It was a bit harder to actually make it happen in 24 hours than I saw it, but it really works.
My name is Rahul Raghuram, and I'm a fourth-year PhD student here in computer science. Right now what you would do is go type in the name of a place on Google or Flickr or whatever, and then look at these images, but they don't really give you a sense of the structure. So our system essentially starts with a large collection of photos, millions of photos, and then automatically tries to figure out what the hot spots are. So if you have a city like New York, you've got landmarks like the Statue of Liberty, and then it tries to do a 3D reconstruction of. There are other techniques out there that have been commercialized. Microsoft has this thing called Photosynth. They essentially do something very similar, start with a photo collection and then move that to a 3D model. But one important difference is, in order to handle very large data sets, they would need to use a very large cluster of computers. Our technique can basically do it on one single PC.
So it's two processors here and 4 graphics cards. Nothing impressive on the machine, so the algorithm is really what counts.
So what our technique really represents is a great improvement in terms of efficiency. This project initially started with the goal to process maybe 10,000 images. So it's really come a long way since then, but there's still a long way to go, and there's still a lot of improvements that can be made, but it's very exciting.
You know, they actually wanted to do it on some campus landmarks, but they did it on Rome because it's the most universal city, so that was the choice. But I would have liked to see maybe the bell tower or the baseball stadium, right?
It's definitely, Google never ceases to amaze us. Speaking of the baseball stadium, a big game, a big sweep against Clemson this weekend. Right?
Absolutely, there's a lot going on this weekend as well. A lot of other sports are in action. We have men's tennis and women's lacrosse will take on Virginia Tech on Friday. Softball team will take on Virginia. in a doubleheader on Saturday, and then on Sunday there's the 3-game series against Clemson. Is there going to be good weather for that?
Should be some great weather. Have a great weekend. Enjoy
Sounds
it.
great.
That does it for this edition. Thanks so much for watching.
Good night.